Hi, I'm Hildy Zitzelsberger, and I'm the Associate Dean of Nursing at Ontario Tech University. This presentation is about nursing competencies. To talk about nursing competencies, I have to talk a little bit about how nursing is regulated in Ontario, and also then how we meet the requirements of a regulatory body as an educational program. But first, I'd like to explain the picture that you see here. This is a picture that was taken from one of our graduate teas. This is a tea that we hold every year in the spring, and our students that are about to graduate are there as a celebration of their achievement. And as part of that celebration, we light a candle that is then passed to students and passed along as we light the candle. And that signifies the bringing of students into the light of the nursing profession. So in Ontario, nurses are regulated by the College of Nurses of Ontario. All regulated health professions are under a college. That's the regulatory body. That's physicians, physiotherapists, occupational therapists. And the College of Nurses of Ontario is the regulatory body for registered nurses, registered practical nurses, and nurse practitioners. Our educational program is focused on um, graduating students who are eligible to become registered nurses. And we have two types of collaborative programs. These programs are with Durham College or Georgian College, so very collaborative. Students may come in direct entry, and they take a 4-year program. We also have RPNs who are interested in becoming registered nurses, and that is a 3-year program. For both, they graduate with a Bachelor of Science in Nursing. And the CNO works very much to protect public interest. It sets the entry to practice requirements, the competencies, and it enforces those standards of practice, and it helps nurses also maintain competencies throughout their career. We have been self-regulating since 1963 as nurses, and that recognizes that nurses have the knowledge and the expertise to regulate themselves as individual practitioners, but also to regulate their own profession. And that's a great thing. So nurses are very much involved in setting the criteria and the standards for nursing education, making sure that those requirements are met throughout early to later career of all nurses. This means that when nurses regulate nurses, we represent our own interests and not those interests of other professionals or perhaps our government ministries. We're regulated under what's called an umbrella legislative model, and that means that we're governed by a statute that's common to all regulated health professionals. That's the Regulated Health Professions Act. But we also have a legislation that applies only to nursing as a professional group. That's the Nurses Act. And we're accountable to be in compliance with the regulations under the Regulated Health Professions Act and also the Nursing Act. In Ontario, as in Canada, when you belong to a regulatory college, only those members can call themselves registered nurses or nurses, and you have to have a valid registration to do so. And the College of Ontario, it fulfills its role and its role to its members, to nurses, and to the public by determining educational and other criteria for licensure, establishing requirements for entry to practice, articulating and enforcing practice standards, and administering quality assurance program and enforcing standards of practice and conduct. So if you want to provide nursing education, you have to be approved to be able to meet requirements by the College of Nurses, which we undergo on a regular basis as an educational program. So to become a nurse in Ontario, once you've graduated from a nursing program and you need to have graduated from an approved nursing program. You also must show evidence of practice, and that's achieved through your nursing program. But you also must take a registration examination, and you must be successful at that to be eligible to practice. Our registration examination is called the NCLEX, and it was changed just recently, so now it's called the Next Generation NCLEX. And it tests the competency of nurses. Did they meet the entry to practice competencies? And it uses it very much using what we call a clinical judgment model. So our goal in a nursing program is to help nurses meet the competencies they need to meet in order to be eligible to apply for membership in the College of Nurses and to successfully pass the nursing licensure exam. For the entry to practice competencies, there's a total of 101 competencies, and they're organized under 9 roles by theme. These are the 9 roles. Clinician: provide safe, competent, ethical, compassionate, evidence-informed care across the lifespan in response to client needs. Integrates knowledges, skills, judgment, and professional values from nursing and other diverse sources into their practice. The professional role: committed to the health and well-being of clients. Uphold the profession's practice standards and ethics, and being accountable to the public and the profession. Communicator: using a variety of strategies, relevant technologies to create and maintain professional relationships, share information, and foster therapeutic environments. Collaborator: play an integral role in the healthcare team partnership, or interdisciplinary teams, or intradisciplinary teams. Being a coordinator, being able to coordinate point of care, health service delivery with clients, the healthcare team, and other sectors to ensure continuous safe care. Being a leader, influencing and inspiring others to achieve optimal health outcomes for all. Advocate: those nurses who support clients to voice their needs to achieve optimal health outcomes, to support clients who cannot advocate for themselves. Educator: identify learning needs with clients and apply a broad range of educational strategies towards achieving optimal health outcomes. And scholar: demonstrating a lifelong commitment to excellence in practice through critical inquiry, continuous learning, application of evidence to practice, and support of research activities. These are the 9 roles within all the competencies, the 101 competencies that we are working to educationally meet the requirements with our students. This is an example of some entry to practice competencies. I won't show you them all here, but the link is here if you'd like to look into them further. This one specifically is for the clinician role. And as you can see under this role, there's 27 competencies that are attached to it. So in our collaborative nursing programs, how do we work with students to help them to be able to achieve and meet the nursing competencies and be able to practice as an RN in Ontario? We do that through our curricular framework, and I'm going to talk about it very briefly right here. As you can see, we depict our framework in a more naturalistic and organic way rather than a diagram or logo. We consider our graphic a virtual narrative that metaphorically depicts both our framework but also ourselves within the program. There is a context, and that's the ever-evolving, complex context in which nursing exists. And that can involve professional, regulatory, educational, social, global, and health contexts. Our soil involves the caring science and caring curriculum that bounds and nourishes our program. We have our roots, and that we have 6 core concepts, and these are human caring, nursing, people, environment, health and healing, and teaching and learning. These are the roots that help keep us grounded and provide nourishment and help to support the entirety of the structure. Our branches represent our nursing program goals, and we have 7 terminal goals or program outcomes: leadership, advocacy, social justice, caring, ways of knowing, reflective practice, and excellent. And these program goals are leveled across all years of our program, and they're mapped to course objectives, course content, and evaluation measures. This is how we help ensure that learners have met the program requirements. In the tree, there's a symbol. That symbol has the thematic areas, and there are 4: development of self, health and healing, foundational nursing knowledge, and foundational interdisciplinary knowledge. Foundational interdisciplinary knowledge is those knowledges that we bring into nursing that are really important to nursing. Things like anatomy and physiology, pathophysiology, nutrition, or psychology. We make sure that our content and our concepts are mapped to our curriculum, to the currently accepted standards of practice and the regulatory requirements, which are our nursing competencies. So we make sure that we're mapping to the entry to practice nursing competencies of our regulatory body, the College of Nurses of Ontario. Thank you. I look forward to having many conversations with you throughout this event. Take care.